Ramaduta Turita Baladama Anjaliputra Pavana Suttanama. Before we continue our journey with Ram, I would like to remind you that in 2 days, Tuesday, there is a very important festival day for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya, Gaur Purnima. So you're invited to come at afternoon and evening for chanting and hearing about Sri Chaitanya. He is the Yuga Avatar. He came for all of us, fallen souls. So there's a lot of good reasons to celebrate his day. Yes, so some months ago we spoke about this line Lakshman draw around Sita's hut. Achso, ich spreche in Englisch. Wir haben vor einigen Monaten darüber gesprochen, dass Lakshman eine mystische Schutzlinie um Sitas Hütte gezogen hat. Lakshmana Rekha. Und ich weiß aus eigenen Gesprächen in Indien und auch von der Reaktion unserer Gäste, dass es eine sehr bekannte Tatsache in Indien ist. Diese Linie. Und die Frage kam auf, woher kommt das? Woher kommt diese Geschichte mit der Linie? Weil ich weiß, in Valmikis Ramayana ist es nicht. Und in den 2 wichtigsten anderen Ramayanas ist es auch nicht. Im Adhyatma Ramayana und im Tulsidas Ramayana. So, ich habe schon mehrmals darüber gesprochen, dass es sehr, sehr viele Ramayanas gibt. Nicht nur in Indien, sondern in ganz Südostasien. In allen Ländern um Indien herum gibt es eigene Ramayanas, eigene Geschichten, Ramlelas. So, ich habe mich gefragt, wo kommt jetzt diese Geschichte her? Die ist so bekannt in Indien. Und ein Gast zeigte mir dann auch gleich auf seinem Handy einen Film, indischen Bollywood-Film, wo man das sieht, diese Geschichte. So, ich habe dann geschaut und habe gefunden, dass es gibt einen Ramayana, wo diese Geschichte drinsteht. Das nennt sich Radhe Shyam Ramayana. Das hat mich verwirrt, weil Radhe Shyam bezieht sich offensichtlich auf Krishna und Radharani und nicht auf Rama. So, was ich vergessen hatte an der Stelle war, dass viele Ramayanas den Namen des Autors tragen. Valmiki Ramayana, Tulsidas Ramayana. Tulsidas Ramayana heißt eigentlich Ramcharitmanas. Und es gibt das Kamban Ramayana in Tamil, das heißt eigentlich Ram Avataram und so weiter. Also es gibt unterschiedliche Ramayanas, die oft verbunden werden mit dem Autor. Und das ist die Lösung meiner Verwirrung, weil der Autor heißt Radhe Shyam. Ansonsten wäre das eine seltsame Verbindung von Radhe Shyam, also von Krishna und Rama. Das bringt uns zu einem Punkt, der ein bisschen, ja, wie soll ich sagen, ist nicht der wichtigste Punkt in unserer Philosophie, aber auch nicht unwichtig. zu dem Punkt von Rasa. So, wir haben ja viele fortgeschrittene Vaishnavas hier. Wer kann das übersetzen? Rasa? Rasa? Ein Sanskrit-Wort? Geschmack, genau. Das heißt auch Verbindung oder auch Haltung, Stimmung. Ja. So, es gibt keinen Unterschied zwischen Rama und Krishna, was Schönheit betrifft, was Entsagung betrifft, was Reichtum betrifft, Ruhm, Wissen und Macht. Sind beide vollkommen gleich. Aber es gibt einen Unterschied in Bezug auf Rasa, auf Stimmung, auf Haltung, auf Geschmack. Die Spiele Ramas, seine Lilas, sind anders als die von Krishna. Wesentlich anders. So deswegen sind auch die Bhaktas, die Rama oder Krishna verehren, unterschiedlich. Weil sie spiegeln diese Haltung, die Lilas wieder. So, und wenn man diese Dinge vermischt, diese Lilas oder den Rasa von Rama und Krishna, dann gibt es etwas, das nennt man im Sanskrit Rasa Vasa, eine Vermischung, eine unglückliche Verbindung. Es ist nichts dagegen einzuwenden, wenn ein Ram-Bhakta Ram als die einzige Person versteht, die er verehren will, oder ein Krishna-Bhakta oder eine Singer-Bhakta, Vamana, Matsya Kurma. Ja, das ist okay. Gleichzeitig hat er natürlich den Respekt für jeden anderen, der eine Vishnu-Form verehrt. So, wir verehren in diesem Zweig der Vaishnava-Tradition vor allen Dingen Radha und Krishna, weil wir Chaitanya Mahaprabhu folgen. Aber natürlich können wir jederzeit auch eine andere Vishnu-Form verehren. Das ist kein Problem. Chaitanya selbst, vielleicht hören wir darüber am Dienstag von dem, der den Vortrag gibt, das bin ich. Er nahm manchmal andere Formen an. Er nahm einmal die Form von Singadeva an zum Beispiel. So, wir verehren alle Vishnu-Formen. Und sehr spät im spirituellen Leben, wenn man sehr gereinigt ist, spätestens dann entwickelt man zu einer ganz bestimmten Form eine besondere Anziehung, ein besonderes Verhältnis, einen besonderen Geschmack. Es ist, wir alle essen gern, aber wir haben nicht alle den gleichen Geschmack. Ja, das ist normal. Vielfalt ist die Mutter des Genusses, heißt es so schön im Englischen. Variety is the mother of enjoyment. So there are verschiedene Geschmäcker. Ja, das ist normal. Deswegen sollte man in einem Text, den man schreibt, diese Dinge nicht vermischen, sondern man sollte sich auf eine bestimmte Form des Geschmackes beschränken. So, dass dieses Ramayana, Radhishyam Ramayana heißt, ist wie gesagt nur aufgrund dieses Autors, der zu Beginn des 20. Jahrhunderts lebte und der eine Art von Theaterstück schrieb. Ja, sein Ramayana sollte einfach auf einer Bühne produziert werden oder gezeigt werden. Das war seine Intention. Und es erlangte schon sehr, sehr schnell Berühmtheit, weil es anscheinend sehr gut umzusetzen war. speziell in einer Gegend, die hieß Rohilkhand, irgendwo im Norden Indiens. Wo genau, weiß ich nicht. Auf jeden Fall haben viele andere das übernommen in ihre Theateraufführungen. Und so wurde es zu einem bekannten Stück oder für viele eine bekannte Tatsache in Indien. Das ist das, was man in Indien eine Katzenkorb-Tradition nennt. Es gibt die Geschichte, es gab eine Heirat. Heiraten in Indien ist eine große Sache, lange Sache, teure Sache, laute Sache. Ich kann mich erinnern, als ich das erste Mal nach Ayodhya kam, wusste ich natürlich gar nicht wohin. Ich hatte keine Ahnung. Und dann hat uns ein Rikscha-Fahrer vom Bahnhof zu einem Hotel gefahren. Als wir dort ankamen, es war mitten in der Nacht, irgendwie 10, 11 Uhr oder noch später, war alles sehr hell, sehr laut. So, und dann haben wir gehört, ja, wir haben hier eine Hochzeit für die nächsten 3 Tage. Das war das Signal für uns, sofort umzudrehen, wieder unsere Rikscha zu besteigen und zu einem anderen Hotel zu fahren, weil wir wussten, 3 Tage indische Hochzeit, du findest keinen Schlaf. Also Inder finden da Schlaf. Die können überall schlafen. Ich schaue mir das immer bewundernd an auf dem Hauptbahnhof in Kolkata oder Bombay oder so. Es ist laut, es ist fürchterlich, hektisch. Inder können da schlafen. Das macht ja nichts. Ja, das sowieso, im Zug. Ja, im Zug sowieso. Das ist irgendeine mystische Fähigkeit, die Inder haben, ich weiß nicht. Naja, beneidenswert. Gut, wie dem auch sei. Also wir sind dann in ein anderes Hotel gefahren, das hieß übrigens auch Radishyam Hotel. Das war sehr, sehr schön. Also ein gutes Hotel und alles wunderbar. Ich kann nur empfehlen, wenn jemand die Möglichkeit hat, nach Ayodhya zu fahren, soll er fahren. Es ist ein wunderbarer Ort. Es ist eine völlig andere Atmosphäre als in Mayapur oder Vrindavan oder vielen anderen sehr überlaufenden heiligen Orten. Ayodhya, ich glaube, als ich das erste Mal da war für eine Woche oder 10 Tage, ich und der andere Vaishnava, ich glaube, wir waren die einzigen Weißen, die ich da gesehen habe in den 10 Tagen. Ja, obwohl das ein ganz wichtiger Pilgerort ist, Ayodhya. Also nicht so bekannt. Gut, egal. Schön war auch, dass wir am nächsten Tag nach unserer Ankunft sind wir also los in die Stadt, um die verschiedenen Tempel uns anzuschauen. Und wir waren gerade mal 100 Meter die Straße runter. Und was hören wir da? Sein Lautsprecher, der auf einem Dach installiert war. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Ha! Also wir wussten, es gibt keinen Iskon-Tempel in Ayodhya. Leider noch nicht. So, die Frage war dann, hui, wer ist das? So, wir haben angeklopft, so wie das in Indien so üblich ist. Man hat uns reingelassen, sehr gastfreundlich und so weiter. Und es waren tatsächlich Gaudiya Vaishnavas, von einem Sadhu eingeweiht, der in Vrindavan gelebt hat und eben zur Gaudiya Sampradaya gehörte. Und die haben den ganzen Tag dieselben Mantras gesungen, wie wir sie auch singen in ISKCON. Ja, ihr Lieblingswort Jai Radha Madhava. Und als ich dann einmal dort gesessen habe, als die gerade Essen gemacht haben, habe ich das Harmonium genommen und Jai Radha Madhava gesungen, sind die fast in Ohnmacht gefallen. Ja, wie so ein Weißbrot, wie ich diese Dinge wissen kann. Ja, das ist Prabhupads Gnade. So, egal. Also das war toll. Wir haben jeden Tag dann zusammen gesessen und gesprochen und die haben jeden Abend auch eine Arti gemacht und Bhajans gesungen. Die ganze Familie kam dann zusammen. Sehr schön. So, es gibt eine bestimmte Atmosphäre in Ayodhya. Eine Ram-Atmosphäre, klar. Das ist sein Ort. Viele Hanuman-Tempel auch. Und das ist für uns auf unserer jetzigen Ebene ist das nicht so entscheidend, ob wir jetzt Rama oder Krishna mehr verehren oder uns damit beschäftigen. Wir sind noch am Anfang vom spirituellen Leben. Aber es gibt schon einen Grund, warum viele Familien in Indien nicht so gerne Krishna verehren, sondern viel lieber Rama. Ja. Weil Krishna ist kein gutes Vorbild für Familienleben. Von Varnashram-Dharma Standpunkt ist ein furchtbares Vorbild. Erstens mal hast du mit verheirateten Frauen nichts am Hut als Mann. Verheiratete Frauen sind tabu für dich. So, Krishna und Radharani sind aber gar nicht verheiratet. Radharani ist mit jemand anderem verheiratet. Und trotzdem ist das Liebespaar überhaupt. Du solltest nicht stehlen, du solltest nicht lügen. Krishna stiehlt und lügt die ganze Zeit. Er klaut den Gopis die Kleider, als sie baden. Die Kleider liegen am Ufer. Und dann müssen sie alle einzeln rauskommen. Ja. Ich will jetzt, so. Das würde Rama niemals tun. Rama, Divi Ratha, eine Frau. Er heiratet eine Frau, obwohl er als Kshatriya tausende Frauen haben könnte. Sein Gelübde ist Divi Ratha. Krishna er tanzt den Rasatanz mit unzähligen Tausenden. Er erweitert sich in Tausende von Formen. Es ist nicht, dass die Tausende Gopis alle um ihn herum tanzen. Er erweitert sich in so viele Formen. Jede Gopi tanzt mit ihm, nur. So, Rama hat eine Frau. Rama ist der perfekte Sohn. Dasharatha sagt, geh in den Wald, obwohl er es gar nicht direkt sagt. Ja. Nur über Kaikeyi. Und Rama sagt, okay, kein Problem. Die Brüder von Rama sind perfekte Brüder. Ja. Kausalya und Sita, die perfekten Ehefrauen. Das sind alles Hanuman, der perfekte Diener natürlich. Das sind alles Rollen im Ramayana, die vorbildlich sind. Krishna-Lila ist es anders. Deswegen würde man, wenn man die Philosophie kennt, niemals ein Ramayana Radheshyama Ramayana nennen. Es sei denn, das ist der Name des Autors. Und das ist hier der Fall. So, diese Geschichte mit dieser Linie ist also nicht sehr alt. Sie ist gerade einmal 100 Jahre alt, aber sie hat sich etabliert. In vielen Theaterstücken und wenn es im Fernsehen läuft, oder im Kino, ja, dann ist es ja sowieso die Wahrheit. Ja, wenn Bollywood das aufgreift, ja, dann. Ja, ich habe es im Fernsehen gesehen. Und es hat natürlich auch seinen Grund in gewisser Weise, weil es gibt immer noch viele Menschen in Indien, die nicht lesen und schreiben können. Nicht mehr so viele wie früher, aber es gibt es immer noch. So, und deswegen hat natürlich Fernsehen oder Internet eine große Bedeutung. Ganz klar. Die können halt nicht sich das Ramayana durchlesen in einem Buch. Ob jetzt in Sanskrit oder Hindi, Tamil, was immer. deswegen ist natürlich der Eindruck oder die Bedeutung dessen, was in so einer Fernsehserie kommt oder im Kino kommt, wesentlich größer als jetzt hier. Ja, wir nehmen das nicht sehr ernst.
Can we shift to English?
I have to shift to English. Okay. Okay. So, we talked about rasa, and now at least my disturbance is gone since I discovered that this the name of the author, Radhishyama Ramayana. But rasa is a very important philosophical topic. So we have so many exalted Vaishnavas here. Someone can give us the names of these 5 main rasas? The 5?
Shantras, Madhuryaras, Vatsalyaras, and
Sorry?
Dasya,
Sakya?
Sakya and Dasya.
Right. These are the 5 main relationships or tastes one can have in the spiritual world. There are also temporary tastes, moods, like anger. You can be angry with Krishna. Yeah. Humor is also another rasa, and disgust also. So there are 9, but they are temporary. They come from time to time. But there are 5 which are the basic moods of any living entity in the spiritual world. Yeah, Shanta is the first. It's translated as kind of neutral or passive, which is not a good translation because in the spiritual world there's nothing passive or neutral, because everything is conscious. Every blade of grass, every tree, every river, every house, every pot, everything is conscious. But they are passive in the sense that they cannot engage in Krishna's or Rama's leelas by themselves. Like a tree, they're standing there, and one tree may talk to the other tree and say, well, yesterday Krishna came and he plucked some bananas from your tree, from you. But I'm sure today he will come, and he is fond of apples, so he will come to my twigs and branches, and he will definitely come to my apples. And the third one may say, no, forget it. Today he will like mangoes. And so they have to wait until Krishna comes. And also the blade of grass. There are texts where a blade of grass is praying to Rama that hopefully he will come today and step over me. This will be the perfection of my existence. So he will trample on me. Hopefully he will walk this way. So I'm waiting. So this is the consciousness of a blade of grass, right? So this is Shantarasa. And the next one is Dasya. Dasya means serving. There are people serving the Supreme in different ways. So they will prepare some food or some flower garlands, or they will clean the street. Try going, try. Of course, Rama is a king, so there is a lot of opportunity to serve him. Right. So just reminded of a funny story of Hanuman and Rama's yawning. Anyway, this is maybe a story for Ram Navami to tell. Yeah, Dasya Rasa. You serve, and the next one is Sakya Rasa, friend. You become a friend of Krishna. Like the Gopas, the cowherd boys, and Vrindavan, they're all friends. The cows are in Shantarasa, and the friends are in Sakyarasa. Sometimes the Sakyarasa can be mixed a little bit with Dasyarasa. Sometimes you have friends, you have, they are not on the same level. Someone might be a little bit older or much more experienced or something. And sometimes the Sakya Rasa is mixed with Vatsalya Rasa. Vatsalya means parental love, like Balaram. Balaram is supposed to correct Krishna. Balaram is the elder brother of Krishna. So sometimes he's teaching Krishna how to behave. Things normally parents do. So sometimes this Vatsalya is Sakya is mixed with Vatsalya a little bit. So a friend is not always on the same level. So Vatsalya means parental love. Either you receive love from your parents or you give love to your children. This is also a form of a relationship. All the older gopis in Vrindavan, even Krishna was not their son, they had this mood, parental, Vatsalya Rasa. And of course, also in Rama Lila, they are the mothers of the four brothers. And also sometimes female sadhus, they show this relationship or this mood. And of course, the fifth one, Madhurya Rasa, the love between lovers. Sita Ram, Radha Krishna, and so on. Now, Rupa Goswami says that there is not any kind of hierarchy amongst these rasas. It's not that one is better than the other. They're all perfect. In the spiritual world, everything is perfect. But he said, still there's a difference. They're all perfect. But there is this different amount of sweetness. This is what he says. He gives the example of sugar. If you boil sugar, then it becomes thicker and thicker, right? So, and this means sweeter and sweeter. Sugar is always sweet. And he says the sweetest is the Madhurya Rasa. So, but if you are not destined for this rasa, there's no need to go into this. Sometimes people who learn the philosophy or hear the philosophy and hear about the rasa dance, they think, oh, I have to become a gopi. I want this relationship with Krishna. But it's not you can order. It's not that you say, oh, I want it, so I get it. Oh, thank you. Jai Shri Ram. It's not that easy. Yeah, you have to prepare yourself. You have to undergo a lot of purificatory processes. And at the end, maybe your destined place is to become a tree in the forest. And you just look at Rama walks by. That's it. It's not that you can order any position. It will be revealed at the end of your spiritual life or your spiritual journey. It will become clear where to go, to which planet. Because Ram has his planet. There are no Krishna Bhaktas on Rama's planet. And on Krishna's planet, there are no Ram Bhaktas. Yeah. They all have their spots. And Chaitanya has also his planet and his devotees. There's only one person changing between these spots, and this is Narada Muni. He can go anywhere. He is constantly traveling between spiritual and material world, and also different levels in the spiritual world. He can go to Vaikuntha. This means the Narayan form, four-handed Narayan forms. And he can go to Krishna Loka, to Rama Loka, anywhere. And he's the only brahmachari in the spiritual world. There are no brahmacharis, no sannyasis. Everyone is a grihastha. Everyone. This is the normal, arrangement in the spiritual world. All the Vishnu forms, they have their spouse. No, therefore we worship Radha together with Krishna and Rama and Sita, Lakshmi Narayan. In the rare cases, we worship Bhagavan with a devotee like Prahlad Nrsimha. In the Bavarian forest, on our farm, we have a Murti Prahlad Nrsimha. Normally you have Lakshmi Nrsimha. Yeah, Krishna is not a brahmachari, and Vishnu and all the forms of Bhagavan. They are not. They have their spouses. So Narada Muni is special. He has a special position. Yes, so to come to a final point, what so far as Lakshmana Rekha is concerned, it is an invention, like 100 years old, roughly, and it has become a very prominent idea that Lakshman draw this line. But it's a nice idea, but it's not Vedic in a sense. It's not Vedic wisdom. But it's also not a big problem in a sense. If you understand what is tradition and proved by sadhus and learned people, and what is just an expression of a mood of a certain devotee. This is his rasa, his mood, or his taste. Krishna also uses this word rasa in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 7th chapter, he's giving nice hints, so to say, how we can recognize him every day. He gives us examples. He says, Rasa Aham, also Raso Ham Apsu Kanteya. O son of Kunti, I am the taste and water. So every one of us, not only humans, every living entity needs water. I mean, there are some rare, special cases, but normally we all need water, right? So Krishna says, whenever you drink water or something mixed with water, you can remember me because I am the taste. Raso Ham, I am the taste, Apsu, in water. And Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayo, I am the light of the moon and the sun. Now, either it is day or it is night. Of course, there is dawn and dusk, but Nrsimhadev, he used this Sandhya times, this transition times between day and night. But normally, either it's day or it is night. So Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. So whenever there is a day, you can remember that we have light, that the sun is shining means because of Krishna. So how can you forget him, right? You have to drink and you need some sunlight. How can you forget him? Prabhasmi Shakshi Suryayo Pranava Sarva Vedishu, I'm the Pranava or Om, the syllable Om in all the Vedic scriptures. This Om symbolizes all Vedic knowledge. And Pranava Sarva Vedishu Shabda Ke Pauru Shamdrishu. Wonderful examples. He says, I'm the sound, Shabda. I'm the sound in ether, so that you can hear anything. Doesn't matter if it's a Bollywood song or a Western pop song or classical music or whatever. The cries of your baby. Doesn't matter. The shouts in the cricket stadium if your team has won. Whatever you hear, you can hear only because there is some space, some realm, resonance. An English word, resonance? Something like this. Yeah, Schwingung. Also an English word, Schwingung, yeah. No, Schwingung is a German word. So, yeah. I mean, I know that some people are not able to hear. This is big handicap. I remember a film from the 70s. There was a doctor who invented some new gadgets to make people able to hear. So they were pretty big. I mean, today you have very small things in the ears, but to this time they were pretty big. Anyway, so I think he was from Australia or Canada or something, or England, I don't remember. Anyway, he made this invention because sometimes there are people, they will never be able to hear. It's completely destroyed. But there are other people, there's a little chance. Yeah, there's some little ability, but the science was not so progressed to help them. But he invented something. And I remember he filmed these people who, for the first time, had this on their ears. And for the first time, they heard something. And this was quite, you could see on the face, there was a little baby, maybe 6 months old or something, and heard for the first time the voice of her mother. And you could see that completely bewildered. Yeah, the baby didn't know at all what's going on here. Of course, if you hear it for the first time. But there was a boy, maybe 12, 13, 14, something. And he was also completely deaf to this time. And then suddenly he heard, I think it was classical music. And you could see that, he was like, huh, in his eyes, and you could see that he was entering a new world, which is, of course, literally true. Yeah, but you could, sometimes you say the eyes are the ways to your soul. So this joy of hearing came from so deep within. Yeah, wow, this was really a surprising event, and for him especially, of course. So hearing is important. And that we can hear, this is a representation of Krishna. This is what he says. Shabdake Paurushamnarishu. This is also interesting. He said, I'm the ability in man. So anyone of us or anyone on this planet has an ability. No one is completely stupid and can do nothing. Right? Our Indian guests, they are usually very fond of IT and engineering. Therefore, they are here. But it doesn't matter. Someone might be a good cook, a good singer, a good philosopher, a good sweeper on the street. Also, this is needed. So we have different talents and different abilities. But any ability you might be proud of if you have it, represents Krishna. Krishna says, I have this ability, that you can do this, that you're a wonderful singer. No, this is not because of you. This is just me giving you this talent. And that you may create some nice lyrics. Just like Valmiki. Also, he was empowered by Brahma. Brahma told him, yes, you will understand what this person Rama is. You will write this down. Or not write this down. You will compose slokas about him. And for you, it will be as easy as you can see a leaf in your hand. I give you this power. You will see what Krishna, and not what Krishna, what Rama was thinking, what Sita was thinking. Even if it was not spoken, but you will see what he was thinking, and what Hanuman and Sugriva and Jatayu and all these great characters, or Ravana. You will see all this. I empower you. You are the right person for this. So if we have a talent, yeah, we call it talent, but where does it come from? I remember in American Devotee, he was a filmmaker, producer before he joined. And so he thought, okay, I continue with my ability to make films, but of course I will do it in a Vaishnava connected way. So he was thinking about making a film about reincarnation. So he had another friend, which was not a Vaishnava, but also a producer, and he tried to convince him, let us make a film about this. And he was like, oh, no. He was not very interested. And he was also not very convinced about this whole concept of reincarnation. Right? So one day they were standing on the balcony of the flat of this friend, and they were talking about the whole thing and everything, all kinds of topics. And then they heard in the living room there was some playing piano. Nice, very nice. So, and the friend who lived there, he was wondering, he said, oh, I cannot remember having turned on the radio. And then they walked into the living room, and there was the 5-year-old son of this producer, this friend of the Vaishnava, sitting before the piano and playing piano. Nicely. Not like completely professional, but he knew the melodies, and his fingers and hands, they just wandered from here and there over this whole piano. And the father, he knew that his son had never had any lesson in playing a piano, never. And he was 5 years old. So they were both standing there and seeing this little boy playing as if he had done it like 20 years. And from this moment on, this friend of the Vaishnava, he knew this must be from his last life. Where does it come from? He never learned it. It must be from his last life. And they made a film about it, which even was in the German TV, by the way, but this is another topic. Yes. So we might be proud about certain things we can do. Yeah, we can be proud, it's all right, but we should not forget, ultimately, it comes from Krishna. He said, that's me. Should be thankful. A little bit of pride is all right, but mainly, the main mood, the main rasa should be thankfulness. So a little bit of enjoyment about our abilities is okay, and we should, this is also an important point in Bhakti Yoga, we should not neglect our abilities. We should use them. Like if you're a producer, why not producing philosophical films? Why not? If you can sweep the street, why not? Why not sweep it for Krishna? For Ratha Yatra, for instance. In India, there are a lot of streets which are, they will be thankful if you sweep them. Yeah. Because these monkeys sometimes, anyway. If you are an engineer, okay, why not? An IT specialist and good cook, even if you're a good cricket player, an actor, no problem. You can be anything, anything. Even you can be a thief. There's the story of a thief who heard that, oh, Krishna, he had all the time this much jewelry on his body. I have to go there and steal it from him. So someone told him, well, you have to go to Vrindavan. If you want to meet Krishna, then go to Vrindavan. Okay, so I go there. On the way there, he met some pilgrims. They also wanted to go to Vrindavan, so he joined them, and he thought if they are pilgrims, they also have something with them, because they want to give a donation, right? So after one night in the morning, everyone awoke, and everyone noticed that they have a different pillow under their head. And usually, if you're a pilgrim, you have your stuff and you put it the night together and sleep on it. But it was all mixed. So the thief finally revealed himself and said, yeah, it's my nature, I have to steal. It's just my nature. But you are all holy persons. You are going for pilgrimage, so therefore I stole all your stuff, but I didn't kept it. I don't want to keep it, so I put it to someone else. So I stole it from you, but I gave it to him. So I did not give it to me. But it's my nature, I have to steal something. Right? Yeah, we all have a nature. For things, we are good at it. And the nice thing, and this is the huge advantage of Bhakti Yoga, You don't have to ignore it. No, you use it. You use it. That's nice. If it's part of your nature, you have to use it. Otherwise, you will get sick if you don't use it. Yeah. You have this ability, and not by chance. There's a reason for it, so use it. And if you're a thief, okay, that's difficult to use it for Krishna, but Krishna was also a thief. You can worship him as the best thief, your idol, for instance. Whatever, there's always a way to use whatever you have. And even if you are illiterate or you cannot go for pilgrimage, whatever, but you can hear. There are 9 processes: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, and one of the 9 anyone can do. You can hear, as we do now, you can chant about Krishna, you can remember him, therefore he's coming, and his leelas are there, so we can remember him. You can serve him like on the altar, you can cook for him, bathe him, make some clothes for him. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Arjanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, you can pray to him. Vandanam means praying. Sakyam, you can become a friend. The Gopas in Vrindavan, they not look at Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. He's their friend. They go every day with the calves to the river and the meadows, so the calves can eat some grass, and the Gopas, they have their plays, sometimes hide and seek, or they steal from others their breakfast and things like this. Sometimes they have plays with the monkeys. So, of course, sometimes also some asuras are coming to Vrindavan, so Krishna has to kill some asuras in between their plays. So you could become a friend. You become a friend. Arjanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam, complete surrender. Yeah, so one of these things is you can do. Eating prasadam is also a good thing. Hearing, chanting, remembering, that's all wonderful. This is all wonderful. So any questions maybe? So we couldn't continue with our journey, but anyway, we have some years to go. There's a long journey.
So you did in the beginning mention that Rama is responsible for creating this lila, the illusion of the lila spiel.
Yeah.
Game. And Krishna is not responsible for it. How was it? They have this difference, you said.
The difference is in the mood of the lila, not in the creation of the lila. Ultimately, Krishna has his internal potency, his Shakti. He has different Shaktis. So one Shakti is responsible for creating these leelas. Like in Bollywood, you have a staff of people, they're making a play. And they say, okay, the story is like this, And then they have the actors, and you are there, you say this one, and then this one comes. And after 3 sentences spoken, of course, there's a dance for 5 minutes, and then they speak 3 sentences, again, a dance for 5 minutes. If I have to go to the hellish planets, I don't know if I have to. I don't hope so, but they will show me Bollywood films. I will drive crazy. Oh. And they all seem to be the same. I cannot see any difference. Sometimes, you see them somewhere. It's all the same, it looks to me. Of course, I'm not an expert, and I never will become one. Anyway, Krishna has these different potencies, different Shaktis. So, and one Shakti is creating all this material stuff, Bahiranga Shakti, external energy. And there's another Shakti, and she is responsible for these Leelas. But ultimately, of course, Shakti means energy, and energy means energy source. So the Shakti comes from a source. This is Bhagavan. So, and then they have a kind of, communication plan, so to say. So sometimes it seems that the Shakti is working independently of Bhagavan and creating some leelas. He even doesn't know what's going to happen. This is fun. If everything is prepared and you know what's going on, well, this is boring, right? So sometimes she is the Shakti is empowered to act independently, but she will never misuse this because she's spiritual completely. So she is, also, Bhagavan is the source, the powerhouse, and she's the power. And she's creating these things. For instance, that Krishna is separated from Radharani, or Rama is separated from Sita, right? Because this is part of Madhurya Rasa, this relationship of lovers. And Rupa Goswami spent a lot of time and effort to explain, and also Jiva Goswami, that the love of 2 persons is even more intense if they are separated. It's called Vipralamba Seva. This is, if you're separated from your most beloved, you always think of him. Right? Your thoughts are always with him. You play externally another role. Like Radharani, she is married to another person, to another male, right? But she, she played as if the perfect housewife. But her mind was with Krishna. So also in Chaitanya Lila, maybe we will hear about it in 2 days. Also, Chaitanya was separated from his wife. He took sannyas, which was a disaster for many. For his wife, of course, for his mother, and for all the Vaishnavas in Mayapur, in Navadvip, where Chaitanya used to live the first 24 years. And then he took sannyas and went to Jagannath Puri. Because as a sannyasi, you cannot stay at home. This is impossible. You have to leave your old life, so to say. Therefore, every year, the devotees of Mayapur, They traveled to Jagannath Puri. It took them 3 months. There's no direct train like today, Kolkata Puri. Today it's, I don't know, 8 hours, maybe 10 hours. And to this time, 500 years ago, you have to go by foot. Took them 3 months. They stayed 3 months in Puri, Ratha Yatra, Haribol, fun. Then traveled back 3 months to Mayapur, stayed in Mayapur 3 months, and then again 3 months walking, 3 months Haribol, Prasadam, Jagannath, Guru. 3 months back, 3 months Mayapur, and then they have to go back because the mother and all the friends in Mayapur, they wanted to hear about Chaitanya. So they had to go back and report because Chaitanya's mother and father, they could not go to Puri. This is not allowed for sannyasis. So they had to rely on the reports.
It's what I call faith and devotion. With such a journey, and I've seen on TV sometimes that some bigger in the north, maybe in Nepal, or so, they take such a long, bigger journey on foot, and then by each step they lay down and they make pranam and then stand up. It goes with that rhythm, you know.
Ashtanga pranam.
The target.
Oh,
Very heavy.
yeah, they're different. There's a panchanga and an ashtanga. You can, I guess it's still happening in Vrindavan. I don't know, at least I was in Vrindavan, I think it's 20 years ago or 15 years ago. And especially around Govardhan Hill, it's a highly mountain. Holy mountain, holy mountain. You can see these people, they have a stone, and they put it in front, and then they made it Ashtanga Pranam. This means complete, not just on his knees, complete. So this means you cover like two meters. So, and in this way, they do not walk around this mountain. They make this pranam. The idea is that the more you lay down, the bigger the chances that you will maybe a touch of one of these holy sand cones Krishna touched. And of course, it's also an expression of humiliation, of humility, not humiliation, humility, right? And I have seen personally pilgrims, they have not one stone, they have a pile of stones, like 108 stones. This means they made this pranam, complete pranam, not just Haribol. No, your whole body goes down. They do not make it one time, they make it 108 times at the same spot. And then they continue 2 meters. Phew. Of course, it takes months, right? And months in Vrindavan means in Vrindavan, it's getting cold in the winter. It can even below zero. And maybe not today anymore because the whole earth is heating up. So at least 20 years ago, if you're there in December, January, really cold. And of course, in the summer, I always fled latest in April in Vrindavan. You do not stay in April, May, or June in Vrindavan. Hot. And the sand is hot around this pilgrim pass around Govardhan. there's just sand. There's not a nice grass like in a football field. It's plain sand. And anyone who was there in the summer in India, in North India, the sand is hot. And these pilgrims, they do not have a big suit covering themselves, for the rain and the sun. They're just, more or less, half naked. Maybe a dhoti or, something, lungi, barefoot. Wow, what a tapasya. What a tapasya, what an austerity. Phew. And just because they express their devotion. Krishna was here, and Govardhan is still a holy person. Govardhan is also a person. This mountain. It's nice. He's blessed. Krishna raised him with his little finger. So, wow. But we have here in the West a different form of austerity. Yeah, apart from the weather is pretty, unextreme. So decent. But the influence here, wow, horrible. You can find in India places where you really can have a retreat, either completely on their own or with some holy people, somewhere in the mountains, in South and also in North India, of course. You can find places, rarely, not many, but still they are there, where you can live pretty much apart from the world. Here, no way. No way. If you go to the forest, probably you are arrested. It's not allowed. If you are lucky in India, go to the forest, and I met people like this who lived like this. People are coming and giving you donations so you can survive. And if nobody coming, that's life. If it's Krishna's plan, then I will die here in the forest. All right? If this is Krishna's desire, what can I do? Right? He's creating universes. He has no problem to feed me if he wants. And if he doesn't want, okay, I didn't deserve it. And I will sit here under a tree and give up my life, if this is Krishna's desire. Don't try this in Germany. You will end up in a nut house. Definitely. This is the difference. If you want to live simply here in this country, the whole thing becomes complicated. If you want to live complicated, then it's easy. In India, it's exactly the opposite. Still, it has changed also a lot, but it's still possible. It is possible to live simply, to just live in a double meaning, simply, simple. Just live and pray and hear and discuss about Krishna. Smaranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Arjanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Madhivedanam. Prahlad Maharaj is giving this 9 processes. These are 9 ways, and no one can tell me he has no ability or no way to worship the Supreme. No. For animals, that's different. They are there in Shantarasa. They have to wait until someone comes and engages them. There are exceptions. I think I have told you about this cow in Ayodhya. There is a cow. I personally saw her. I tell you, around this old the Babri Masjid, you might have heard the story. There was a Ram temple, and the Muslims teared it down and tried to, or had a mosque there, and the Hindus came in the 80s and teared the mosque down. There was a huge war going on, hundreds of dying people on both sides, Hindu and Muslims. Horrible. And for many years, for I think 30 years, no one could enter this mountain. There was a little mountain, right? And around this mountain, there is a kind of safety zone. Yeah. So there's also an army controlling everything. And if you want to enter the zone, you have to give your passport and explain why you are coming. Of course, we are from Europe, so we had no problem in this sense to go there. But we have to give our passports and everything. So, and then you can go up to the hill and then stand there for 10 seconds and see a little murti where the old temple was, and you go down again. So, but around this mountain, there are also temples living, Indians living there with devotees, bhaktas, brahmanas. And in one courtyard of one of these temples, the devotees told me there is a cow, and she is making parikrama, so to say, rounds 108 times every day, looking to the hill where the old temple was, making her 108 rounds, looking to the hill and going back, eating. You know, India, there are many stories. So I thought, well, yeah, of course, yeah. You have a cow going exactly 108 rounds. Yeah, of course. So, and they told me, yeah, every morning. So, of course, what I did, I went there. And she was in a courtyard, and before there was a wall. And they told me, you have to hide. Because if she noticed that someone is looking, she stops. I thought, wow. Anyway, finally, I did this. I was hiding a little bit around the corner, and the cow did it. She came, looked at the hill, made 108 parikrama, so to say, wanderings in a circle, and made photos secretly. I will show it next time. And then she stopped, looked at the hill. I mean, I was just waiting for a pranam, but she goes on her knees. She did not do it, but looked there and went back to the barn for eating breakfast. I was really impressed. So it was actually pretty dangerous to make photos, not because of the people at the temple, they didn't care, but if the people, the soldiers, because there were all soldiers around this hill, if they would notice that I make photos, they would not understand that I do not make photos of this hill, but of this cow. But then I would run in trouble. So finally, no one saw it. Yeah, if you're an animal, you have to wait. I mean, I don't know what this cow had done in her last life. Something special. But normally, yeah. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his songs, he sings that in my next life, let me not become a rich king or a famous person. Let me become at least a little insect in the house of a Vaishnava. Because maybe there's a chance if this Vaishnava is eating prasadam and then some little pieces are falling to the ground, so I can grab them. I can at least eat a little prasadam. If I'm not advanced enough to become again a human being, but so let me at least become an insect in the house of a Vaishnava. This is my prayer. And this is the nice thing if you're a Vaishnava. You're helping not only yourself, you're creating fortunate circumstances for everyone. Maybe other people hear, if you hear devotional music, or you give them prasadam. Even if you go into your house and someone opens the door before you and says, please, this is in Sanskrit agyata sukriti, unconscious service. Or you're sitting in your car and someone says, oh, please. Or you're a pedestrian and you're standing on the zebra, I don't know what's the English word for it, stripes. And normally in Germany, drivers stop if you're standing there. In other countries, it's not the case. Like in Italy, no one stops. And that many times, the Germans who were on vacation in Italy, they stopped, and then an Italian, of course, drove them in the back, because no Italian would stop. So they were completely unprepared that indeed a car stops there. So in Germany, normally everyone stops. This is an unconscious service, agyata sukriti. It's a pious act. Even if someone says, oh, guten Tag to you, if you're a Vaishnava, he's making advancement by these two words. He wishes you a good day. This means he's making advancement. Not very much. Maybe it's the only thing he does in his whole life. Okay. Then he has to wait for the next life to continue. But he will continue. This is Paramatma. He recognizes this. And then he will arrange something. Maybe you have a friend, who tells you about something about reincarnation, or you become a vegetarian. Maybe it's the next step. Krishna has a plan. As soon as you have a little move in his direction, even if it's the smallest move, su alpa, Krishna says, means extremely little endeavor. Su alpa means a little, a few. So su alpa means very, very little. So he says, even if someone is doing very little, this is not lost. It's never lost. Never. Everything in the material world you will lose. Your house, your flat, your car, your family, your body. You have to give it up. At one point, you have to give it up. no way to avoid this. This is funny, right? You have no way to avoid this. You will lose everything. Everything. And even if you're the president of something, maybe of the whole country, doesn't matter, you will lose it. Anything in the material world is temporary. You will lose it. Now we're all attached to our flats, to our car, to our working place, maybe, to family, children, partner, bank account. Yeah, that's all right. But we will lose it. Das letzte Hemd hat keine Taschen, is we say in German. The last shirt has no pockets. You cannot take anything with you. But what you will take with you is the results of your activities, your karma. This you will take with you. And you will experience in your next lifetime or lifetimes the results, good or bad. Like this 5-year-old son playing piano. He took this from his last life. So, or Beethoven, he also famous German composer and componist. He also started with 5, writing operas. With 5. Whew. Where does it come from? Not from this lifetime, from his last lifetime. The super soul is sitting there in your heart, and she gives you remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. Sarvasya chaham riti sanivishto matas mritya jnanam apohanamcha. Sarvasya, of everyone, I am Sarvasya chaham riti, in the heart. Sanivishto, I'm situated in everyone's heart. And from me is coming forgetfulness, knowledge, and remembrance. That fortunately, we also forget things, especially during the process of taking birth. We forget a lot of about our last life. Otherwise, we all end up in a nut house. If we all would be aware of our past lives, it's not only one, it can be hundreds or thousands. Wow, my goodness. Huh. You might have been a fish, a cow, and a Muslim, and now you're a Hindu. What to do? You feel this urge to go to a meadow and eating grass. This is not very helpful for your digestion. You think, oh, today I'm a fish. You're jumping into the water and you think, oh, I can dive around for days under the water. No, you cannot. For some minutes and then it's body gone, dying. But there are people who have multiple personalities in their heads. Why is another topic, but this drives you crazy. You need to forget. You have to identify with your present situation. I'm a human being. I'm a male or I'm a female or whatever. Otherwise, you're going mad. So remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge is coming ultimately from Krishna. Savasya I'm sitting in everyone's heart. This means also in every crocodile, in every chicken, and every cat or dog. In everyone's heart. Even in the bacteria. There are millions of little bacteria here in this room. Millions. And Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. We have killed in this last hour millions of living entities just by breathing. But that's life. We cannot stop breathing. I mean, we can, but it's not very helpful for continue to live. Right? You can stop, of course. You will stop at one point, but so you have to kill. Cannot avoid it, but you can reduce the amount of killing. So thank you for listening. Our boss is signaling, is waving his hands, so we have to stop. At least we have cleared up the point of Lakshmana Rekha. This will never happen in the Himalayas. This is, although I'm not sure anymore. I don't know. Since probably even the sadhus have their mobile phones there, right? They're sitting there and anyway, I don't want to go into this. So thank you for listening, for Shravanam. Please come at Tuesday for celebrating Sri Chaitanya. He is the one who will help you tremendously in this Kali Yuga. He can help you better than Ram and Krishna. Yes, because he's the most powerful, Parama Karuna, and the most merciful. Parama Karuna, Pahundujana, Nitai Gaura Chandra. So thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Ram.
Divi Ratha Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Ram.